supposed to go, but we can't go. We keep casting. We just can't leave. We said we were going to leave, but we can't leave. We can't leave biting fish. Don't leave biting fish to go home. That's their #1 rule.
We cannot stay here till.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. Then they better stop biting. I ain't leaving.
I'm going to shake them off.
If you want to go, we can go.
I don't want to go.
I don't want to go
I
either.
don't want to go.
Who?
But I do got to get off the water. I got to work on it.
At what time?
Like I'm late.
Oh, you're going to wait for it. You're going to be late for a while. I got to get this one in now.
Woo! I'll take him. One of the most incredible days of fishing of my entire life.
Leave when they stop biting.
They won't stop biting.
Well, I got to get my last fish. Dude.
Okay.
It's getting nicer out, though. The rain's stopped, and we can stay a little longer.
You trying to tell me to stand?
You didn't want to take a picture of a 5.5 pounder?
I've already got pictures. I just wanted to get the fish back in the water.
It's time to go.
Yes.
Time to go.
I'm not casting. I'm not casting. Are you?
I am.
Well, no, come on, man.
One more cast. We can go whenever now. So it's your call.
We gotta go.
All right, let's pack up.
We gotta go. What time is it now?
Probably 7.
We gotta go.
Why? Because all of a sudden,
No, I want to eat dinner.
we'll get dinner somewhere. We got to get a good hotel, and that ain't here.
We are not driving it in any.
I don't want to drive in the morning after I make this last cast. I don't like that angle.
What do you mean?
I fished this.
Fished all the angles 100 times.
I had the set, dude. That's a giant.
This is it. I don't care if I catch one or not. I'm not
All right,
taking
me
any
neither.
more casts.
This is the end, guys.
No matter what happens.
No matter what.
Last cast.
Oh, now we're making another last
One more.
cast.
This is it. No matter what. Absolutely, positively.
Right there.
Where'd you go?
I'm fine with that cast.
Where'd you go?
I'm just right out here. This is the last cast.
No matter what happens.
Okay, that was the last cast.
I just had one on.
Well,
Got him.
got him.
Oh, it's another tubber. Did you sneak in a spinnerbait cast?
I did.
That's pretty tricky, man.
That's nothing to be.
That's it, brother.
All right.
Absolutely, positively done. And until next time,
See you guys on the water.
You don't know where the love of God goes when the waves turn the minutes to hours. The searchers all say they'd made Whitefish Bay if they put 15 more miles behind her. They might have split up or they might have capsized. They may have broke even with one. All that remains are the faces and the names of the wives and the sons and the daughters. In a musty old hall in Detroit, they prayed in the maritime cellars cathedral. Church bells chime and rang 29 times. Parades spread on the Memphis General. Legendary song from the town down of the big lake they call Get Your Booty. Here they said their mom, he was up for dead. When the girls and all been I've got
All right, that was a longer than expected intro. I apologize, guys. Welcome to Smallmouth Crush Live. Coming live from the dungeon, the mysterious dungeon. Let's bring co-host Epic Eric on board. What's up, buddy?
Dude, man, it was lagging. It was like stop motion video.
Is it working now?
You're looking good now, man.
Oh, but before I wasn't.
Yeah, it was, the whole thing was like frame per second. So it was like stop motion. You could see like it was wild. Good memory though, man.
Where are you at? You're in a different location.
Man. Yeah.
Which
I'm up
house
at,
are you in tonight, Eric?
I'm up at Deep Creek Lake, man, in Western Maryland.
Ah.
Been fishing every day
Fancy
off the
one.
dock. No
Fancy
boat,
one.
man. Just bank fishing, man. Bank
That's
fishing.
amazing.
Yeah, or dock fishing. Been catching them too. Yellow perch, chain pickerel, largemouth, smallmouth. It's been a menagerie, man. I had this really cool technique going last night, man. I was throwing the net rig with a BT head. It's got a nice Gamakatsu hook at it, 3/16 ounce, and I really got to get it out there to the grass. It's like this water cabbage, and I hang it up in the grass, and I have a medium light like spy bait rod, and I'm throwing it on 6-pound monofilament, and so I'm like tugging on the vine. I'm stuck in the grass and tugging on that vine, and then I'd let it fall back down, and then I'd get it, and I start to do it harder and harder, and then I'd get a bite. I did it like 3 times, man. Caught 3.
Really?
Just shaking in the grass. Yeah. Like stuck to a piece of grass. It's crazy.
3
with the
little
big
guys.
fat. Yeah. Yeah. They were probably, well, 2 were chain pickerel. Man, you got to catch what you can when you're on the bank, man. I like it. Simple times, man. Simple times.
I get it. It is very simple.
I'm thinking about getting a plastic boat. For all you guys watching, it's called the Veer. It's a Lund boat. It's made out of kayak material. And I think I'm going to run a 7.5 Mercury on the back, electric lithium.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, it's their new Mercury electric 7.5 motor.
Planet, Eric.
No, it's because I don't want to have to hassle with gas or winterizing a motor. Because up here, man, it's frosty, dude. They get like 160 inches of snow. 160 inches of snow up here a year.
And
average.
Deep Creek?
Yeah, it had 226 one year.
Are you in the mountains?
It's the Allegheny Mountains in Garrett County.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, there's a ski resort right there.
I believe you.
Right there. North, directly north. I can see the lights at night when there's snow. Yeah, man, this thing, people ice fish on it, bro.
All right.
Average depth, 27 foot. It's got northern pike. I don't even know the record. Northern pike, 27 pounds, 10-pound walleye. I've caught some big walleye, 6 to 8s with Jimmy.
All right.
Those are big walleye, bro. For Maryland.
Fair enough.
Yeah, 10-pound bass, I think's the lake record, man.
Hey, we had we have some really good, we're finally getting back into it. Now that most of the house and everything is finished, we finally had some time to put some videos up. You guys hopefully have seen, man, I think we put 2 or 3 up last week. One was our cranking video, of course.
Dude, that was so much fun.
I know.
You did a great job on the edits too, man. You're pumping out some good content, man. Good vids, man. I enjoy it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
We got some good ones moving forward too. So we got did we do the 30-pound? Did yours, what is today?
I don't think you've posted it yet.
It was supposed to post on Saturday. What is today? Monday.
Yeah.
Shoot. Let me look into that.
I saw the short. Yeah, do some research on that, would you?
Man, I need somebody. You know?
You do. I'm having a frosty Root 42. It's a root beer.
Nice.
It's really tasty. It's old time, man.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's pretty cool.
I slipped back into my old IPA days.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You deserve one. You've been working hard, bro.
Working really hard on a bunch of stuff.
That's right.
Painting things all day. You know, it's crazy.
House is looking awesome, dude.
That's right.
That was a magical 3 days up there, man. Can't wait to get back.
We'll get back.
That was fun. I liked all the techniques, man. It was crazy. Early spawn. It was nuts.
So before we get into tonight's show, I do want to mention, so we have a tournament up here out of Clayton, New York, July 16th. I believe that's Sunday, called the SmallmouthCrush Open. This is our second season doing this. Second annual. So if you guys want to go to my website, you can check that out. You can sign up there. I don't think I have a partner yet because you're not going to be there.
No, I got that derb.
I'm not sure if JP committed to fishing with me or not.
Did he?
So, no, maybe we need to auction off something to all the viewers.
There you go.
Figure something out.
That'd be fun. That's a great idea.
I'm not sure if JP's fishing with me or if he's with Gino again. So
Gino, the operator. Yeah, I have to call him up. Hit him up. JP, you watching? Look into the comments.
He will.
I don't
There's
see
a lot
him
of
in
people in the house tonight.
Yeah.
John Henning goes, Champlain Toyota Series this month is begging for a ton of those worthless co-anglers to sign up.
Why are they worthless?
Well, because he knows we talk shit about co-anglers. We love co-anglers. That's a misconception. A misconception about me is that I hate co-anglers and strangers in my boat. I love people, Eric. You know that.
That's why you caught that smallmouth on the Dyco Angler Die crankbait.
That's right.
I wish I had my Dorito chip one up there, man. Dang it. A
That's
chip
okay.
lip. I know. We'll
That's
get back after it. Yeah, Carl, man. That was awesome. Awesome vids, Carl, for sure.
Yeah.
That was fun, man.
No, it's been good. And so I finally, guys, after months. So I bought my new Camus from Thayer's back in January or February. It's one of the worst weekends of my life, actually. I drove from my new house in New York to Connecticut that morning. Picked the boat up. It was delayed because I told Richie I was coming the day. He thought I was coming the day after. I came a day early. I thought it was Friday. It was Thursday, whatever. So I wait around, and then I drive to go get it rigged. And actually, tonight's guest, Steve, we're going to be talking with Steve from Bass Fishing Electronics. So I drive up his way to get the boat rigged. And so I'm already late. I get there late afternoon and drop the boat off. Or no, maybe that was when I was picking it up. I'm confused. Anyways, one of the worst drives of my life was from New Hampshire back to upstate New York through these mountains. I saw a sign for moose crossing, dude, on the way home. I was up in the mountains, and it was
crazy.
It was so freaking snowy. It was like a blizzard the whole way.
That's crazy.
The trip took me like 12 hours when it should have only taken me 6. Yeah, it was 25 to 30 the whole way.
That's brutal.
And then I had some like stomach flu or something where I was just sick. I was just run down from working hard, tearing all that
just beat
board off, and you know how I was doing that back.
Oh yeah, man. Absolutely. Just burn out and driving in a blizzard. Ugh.
It was crazy.
Not good.
But
South Jersey asked if we used swim baits on that trip. We did, definitely, man. Big swim baits too. We tried. Good God.
But anyways, listen, Eric,
so
the story,
go ahead.
Back to me and the story. So
yeah, sorry.
That's fine. It gets worse. So when I was picking up the boat from Steve's, we did an amazing video about the whole boat build and everything. And I get back home, dude, and I start to upload the content into my computer to edit, and nothing.
No.
So I tried 2 or 3 places locally. Then the last guy I talked to says, ship it to California to a company, and they give me a quote, and they're like, well, maybe we'll get that content back for like $3,500.
Excuse me?
I'm like, bro, it's like less than an hour of some video footage on an SD card. You know what I mean?
It's like FBI work or something. What is that, crazy?
Yeah. And then they couldn't even get it. They couldn't guarantee it. So I was like, screw it. So we made it work. We finally got the Camus boat build video up a few days ago, which is up on the YouTube channel. And it just so turned out that Steve, who worked on the boat over at Bass Fishing Electronics, we scheduled him tonight to join the live. So we're actually going to be bringing him on shortly, not only to talk about what he's got going on as far as what he's doing to boats, as far as just electronics and trolling motors and just rigging boats properly. He's also an amazing angler, knows how to catch a few fish. And so we're going to want to pay a little bit of attention to him. So I'll just read through the comments here. We got Carl in the house. Did you give a shout out to everybody yet? Ray?
No, man. No. Wave Currents and Ice, man. Brian, FaZe, John Henning. You saw Gino, the operator, Ray Stickle. Carl saw the Camus first. OG Andrews and that Travis Wise. Let's see who else, man. Who was early? Bob Stevens. There he is. Mark D. Bassett with Big Malone. Matthew Weimer. Thomas Michael Seabolt, man.
Ken.
Who else? Jack B. What's up? Angler Zach. Bo Judd. James McMullen. South Jersey, I think I already said. Slumpy Grumpy. AJS. Man, all the regulars. There's King, a.k.a. the Smalley Slayer on Kentucky.
Hey, is anybody new tonight joining us? We always like to ask that question.
That's right. Michael Bradley, E-Stack. Tom, of course. Pavlov, what's up?
Even
Mark
the people that
Ulbrich.
sneak behind the scenes that never comment but do watch from time to time.
David Toll, that's right. Doug Stewart. Who else? The Adagram. Hello.
All right.
All right, let's see. Let's see if anybody's new. Darius was first, man. Brad's back. He's back from El Salto. We got to hear about that. Jordan C. Yo. Steve Hardy,
Top
what's
Toad.
up? Yep. Hi, Christina. I'll get you that logo. Jeff Gaspo, of course. Robert Linson from the West Coast representing. Top Toad. Jack Hinkle.
All right,
Are you
that's
related
enough.
to
Let's bring
Andrew
our next
Hinkle?
guest on. Eric, you'll go. You'll just keep going. Won't
I
you?
would. I'd read everybody. I'm trying to get everybody, man. I'm trying to do a shout out.
You do a
Army
good job.
Outdoors 88N, man, from Fort Knox, Kentucky. That seems like a new one to me.
No, we've seen Army Outdoors. He's been here plenty of times.
Really? 88N?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bob Donahue.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
Steve, what's up,
Hey,
man?
What's up, Steve? Cheers, man.
How's it going tonight? Just
Well-
sitting back enjoying all the comments here.
I know. They'll roll in. Steve, you're the man. Dude, you rigged my boat. Listen, I'm trying to do the math. And I kind of lost count. I think I've had 5 nitros, 2 Camises, and 3 Tritons. And this is the best rigging I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
And I want to tell you, everybody is watching because we have a lot of people here from the Northeast, Pennsylvania, New York, Maryland, all up and down the coast. If anybody needs any work done to their boat, you have my full endorsement, man. You seriously did an amazing job. All the detail that goes into it. I'm super impressed. You can tell I'm excited about my boat. And I'm at the same time, you guys know how serious I am when it comes to equipment and making sure things are right. Like if it's not right, I'm not happy with it. I don't think we're going to get into it tonight, but I made a major purchase this week that I'm not happy with. And I didn't even tell you yet, Eric. I didn't tell anybody. So
what'd you buy?
I bought a Toyota Tundra.
Oh.
But I bought one of them big boy trucks.
And you're not happy with it.
I can't even jump up in it, man. It takes way too much work to jump up into that Toyota.
You're tall too.
I know.
If it's hard for you to get in, it's going to be impossible for me to get in.
Bro, 12 miles a gallon without pulling the boat. Yeah, I messed up.
Are you
That's
looking at
terrible.
about 6 with the boat on the back?
Bro, it's bad.
Holy
It's bad.
crap. That's a guzzler, bro.
Dude, buyer's remorse right now.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Dang.
I thought
dude,
my Ram
what?
2500 that gets like 8 miles a gallon towing was bad, but I think you might have that beat.
We'll find out.
Does the Tundra have a lift? Somebody wants to know, did you get a lift kit with it
Oh,
or
of
something?
course it does, bud. Come on.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
I want to have the biggest Toyota Tundra out there, bigger than Ike's.
well, then you knew it was going to be sucking gas, bro.
I didn't know it was going to be that bad.
What? What color is it?
Silver, of course.
Of course. Did you trade in your old truck, man? So that's gone too?
Yeah.
Damn, you're kind of stuck for a minute. I mean,
Yeah,
I guess
I'm
you could
ordering-
trade it for
I'm
something
ordering
else.
I'm ordering a different one.
What are you going to order?
Another Tundra, but a longer box and not quite as lifted with tires that are bigger than me. Yeah.
You're going to have tires.
How do you make that decision?
I just
You've
I
always
wasn't even
wanted
bring
it.
it up tonight. I wasn't even going to bring it up tonight. I just, how I just flow with the conversation, things that are on my mind. Yeah.
Oh, people are hitting you up already. A Tundra?
They are.
Lifted? Man, you got to send me a picture of that thing.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it because I love the truck. I just don't like the fuel bill.
Yeah. And getting in it.
Yeah. Right. Or out of it.
Yeah, right?
I don't want to talk about it. Let's
I guess I'll just ride to the lake in the boat or something. I don't know.
man.
That's
I'm higher than
crazy.
semis on 81 right now.
That's it. It's just ridiculous.
Matt, Travis, are you trying to compensate for what, Matt? What am I compensating?
The comments are the best part of this whole thing.
Well, why did you want a lifted truck anyway? That would be the question people want you to
Why?
answer. Yeah. For what purpose does it
I
serve?
just want to be a little taller on the road.
For what purpose? Are you trying to look down
Just to
into
be
people's
higher.
cars?
I made that mistake on a Silverado one time, and I'll never do it again. It tows so bad when you get a lift
Lifted?
kit.
Oh man, my buddy
Yeah.
had a lifted truck, man. It was a dually, and we would go over this one bridge and would start doing this. Tung, 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 tung. I mean, it was just terrible. Oh, it's terrible.
I'm
Towing.
not
Yeah,
even
I
look at
made
my
a promise
text
I'd never
messages.
do that again. No more lift kits in a truck.
Really?
What is
Where
it
was
with-
this advice months ago, Steve? Jeez.
Did you consult him?
No. I talked to a few key people and I got different opinions,
And what?
and some I should have paid more attention to.
So who told you don't do it?
There's a few people. I mean,
How many people told you totally go for it?
well, I didn't really talk to a lot of people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, you didn't come to your consigliere, man, because you know what I would have said. Are you out of your fucking mind?
What would you have said? You would have said, yeah, Tundras are awesome. You love Toyotas. You get a new Toyota every
Tundra
year.
for sure, but lift kit, I would have said, oh, hell no, bro. Just be normal. Anyway, you got your big boy truck, and I guess, you know, the fantasy is different than the reality, as it is
That's
with life
true.
a lot of times, man, right? We think about these things, we have these visions in our head, and then we get it, we go, oh.
You're gonna have
So-
to get one of those racks with like the gas tank on it, so you can fill it up.
Right.
Yeah, like Skeet Reese, didn't he have that one? What was that one rig, man, that had the gas
he
tank
drives
thing?
an F850. Okay, he drives a semi.
But yeah, doesn't he have the fuel tanks? It looks like fuel
Sure.
tanks on the side or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Crazy. I mean, those guys are going cross country, which maybe you.
All
would
right,
be
here's
one day.
what we're doing. I got this week. I'm gonna place an order for a new Toyota Tundra, which is gonna take 8 months to get, but we'll trade it in. They gave me a good price on my trade in, so I'm not gonna lose too much money. But lesson
Right.
learned. If anyone's
Right
thinking
on.
about getting a big lifted Toyota and you want to get 12 miles a gallon without towing the boat, go right ahead.
You got it for sale. Are you trading this one for the new one?
I'll probably trade it in. Yeah,
I got you. Yeah, just to avoid the hassle.
I'm gonna have a good summer.
How
driving
much?
around with
How
it.
much lift did you have?
It's high, bud.
Like, how do you get in?
So I have to kind of do a running start, and then if I grab the handle up here and I hit my it's bad. Jeez, everybody's hitting me up. Don't they know we're live right now?
So was this a new one or a used one?
No, brand new. The dealer
Is this
lifted
like
it.
one of those Rocky Ridge editions or something like that?
Yeah, actually, it was one of those. It was, yeah. Like it's a dealership that specializes in big lifted trucks,
Can they just lower it?
and then they have to get rid of the tires.
No, it's like a full-on mod to that thing that he's got.
What the? How much did the mod cost?
there.
I
I need your job.
What are the? How much is each tire? What kind of tire are we talking about?
don't
Hold up a picture of this thing. How am I getting in the truck?
Jesus.
I got no shot. I'm gonna have to use a ladder.
Step ladder. Bring it with you.
You would need a step ladder.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
This doesn't make any sense.
All right, guys. Moving on.
Oh my God, you did it. You done pulled the trigger. Cray.
I made some bad choices in my life.
Well, you always wanted it. You got it.
I was talking to BTC earlier today. I go, how many miles per gallon does Ike get with his Tundra? And BTC's like, on a good day? I go, yeah. He's like 8.
Oh
Like,
wow.
And his truck's probably more lifted than my Tundra.
Ike's is?
I would say.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's all good.
All right. Well,
I can't even keep up with these comments, but
and neither
It's
can I.
interesting.
Somebody wants to know how they're biting on Champlain, Steve.
yeah, Steve, how are they biting on Champlain?
It's all bed fishing right now. For the
Wow.
Yeah.
What's
I
your
mean,
water temp?
you can catch them in all three phases. It's
Okay.
anywhere, I don't know, probably 50, low 50s, all the way up to high, mid 60s, depending if you go in the bays and stuff. So,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
Tournament's open this weekend, so that'll be all bed fishing. There'll be 500 boats on the lake, so
Wow.
raffle off.
Raffle it off.
I saw that. I was
Did
trying to
you
get
already?
Wade
Did you
on it.
already wrap it?
No, I'm not wrapping the truck.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you wrapped it already.
So Waves current and ice is probably like $3K a tire. Jack so high you could roll over a moose with. Oh, geez, you guys are funny.
$3,000 tires. I couldn't
I
do it. There's just no way. That's. I think $200 for a tire is outrageous.
Yeah.
Have you braked tires lately? I just had new tires, but it was like 400 for regular tires per tire.
Holy crap! Really? Wow.
Oh, well.
Well, I mean, that's where the rubber meets the road, man. You want a good tire on your vehicle, that's for sure. Can't skimp on that. It's like the electronics. Let's get into it, man.
I'm ready to move on. Steve, hey, if you can take a second, because I know some of our viewers, and I know we're going to get a lot of viewers here after the live itself, but could you give us a little bit of background about yourself? I know, talk a little bit about your business, and we definitely want to talk fishing with you, but like I said, I got my boat totally rigged up by you, and I wanted to have you on to talk a little bit about that as well. So now's the time to kind of, show off a little bit, if you would.
Yeah, so I'm the owner of Bass Fishing Electronics up here in Auburn, New Hampshire. Started a few years back. I was just doing this on the side. The reason that I started the business was to feed the addiction that we all have, and I was going up to Lake Champlain every weekend, and that was not cheap. You're talking about 8-10 miles of the gallon times 200 something miles every weekend each way.
Wow.
And it just added up like crazy. So I started selling used fish finders on the side, and that's kind of where this whole deal started. And 3 years later, we got a brand new shop. We moved out of the house. We built a new shop at the house. It lasted 6 months, and then we had to move into a nice 60 by 60 brand new building that we're in now. And that's where you dropped your boat off to.
Nice, man. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. It's happened quick, very quick. None of this. I never went to college, wanting to start a business, or I never even thought about this honestly until 3 years ago, and just kind of fell into it. I think the timing was perfect. Live scope and Mega 360, right? All that stuff is just huge right now. So it kind of, yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was saying so. Aside from the explosion of electronics, what do you attribute your success to, and what differentiates you and how you rig? Because I mean, Travis has had a lot of boats. He's had a lot of people rig. What are you doing different to just create this kind of, explosion in your business?
I think it's just being honest with people. I think honesty is the biggest thing, and taking your time on stuff. We're used to this society, right, where it's get it in and get it out as quick as you can, as cheap as you can, and if you slow down, it's just like a high-end sports car or something, right? You can't go anywhere and get a 68 Corvette worked on or something. So
right.
I think that's kind of where we came into play. There's nobody from Tennessee up to the border of Canada that does this.
Wow.
And the marinas and stuff, I think it just kind of outgrew them, right? You get a boat with one unit on the back, one unit on the front. There was no live scope. There was no, you had a side imaging transducer, and even that's newer stuff, right? And it's not that old. So now you got pole mounts and power pole charge, and that's all connected with NEMA, with gateways and 0.1 antennas. There's just so much to it, right? It's
true.
These marinas, I think.
What did you notice, Travis? I mean, you've had a lot of boats. You're saying you are the most happy. You are definitely the most particular and peculiar and selective, and you pay attention to detail for sure. What impressed you about it? Your experience? I mean, from your perspective, the buyer. I'm curious.
Sure. Well, I think the biggest thing was just the way everything was put together, as far as the detail, the wires, the even the extra, I mean, and we talked about it in the video I put out, but just some extra support as far as brackets and mounting some of the electronic. I use Bass Fishing, Bass Boat Technologies mounts for my units at the console and at the bow. And Steve, you took the time to really say, this stock piece from Camus and Bass Boat Technologies mount will work, but we're going to add a little extra to it for support and just all the little detail that goes into that. Because as I guess as much as I like to look and make sure everything's perfect, like that's one of my biggest issues when I have a problem. Even just taking the screws out and putting them back in and working down below, and then they never, when I put them back, they never are like exactly how they should be from the start. Does that make sense? I mean, that drives me crazy. It just, for some reason, I like everything perfect. And this boat is set up where I don't think I'll ever have to go down below, Steve. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's going to be any problems.
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal. We run our own dedicated wiring harnesses, and that's pretty much a requirement at this point for if anybody comes to us and wants Mega 360, live scope, any of that, we put in a dedicated harness, and that way we know exactly how those connections are made. And if you ever have a problem, we can tell you exactly where to go to find it. But the idea is you're never going to have to touch your wiring. None of this, factory butt splices falling out and chasing ground issues and stuff. That we just want to eliminate that from the start.
That's
and
smart.
The wiring is the kind of key to that whole deal.
How do you keep the mounting secure? I think everybody that's owned a bass boat has had a nut pop out from a mounted unit, and then there's just no way to secure it. And the hole's too big. It never goes in tight. It backs out on itself constantly because we run bass boats like idiots in rough water. I mean, you add to it a Great Lake or even Champlain, the drill, right? How do you avoid that?
Yeah. So I've kind of been doing my own experiment and breaking my own stuff up on Champlain for the last 10 years. Right.
There you go.
Folded mounts over. I've done everything you can imagine. I've had trolling motors deploy in the water while I'm running 50 miles an hour down.
Holy shit.
I've kind of done it all up there because Champlain pretty much is never calm. So
yeah, it could be punishing.
I've just experimented on my own boat, basically, is how I've learned. And we've learned if you can through bolt something, it has to be through bolted, and not just through bolted. It needs some support on the backside. So fender washers, custom starboard plates, whatever it takes. If we can through bolt it, we're going to do it. But like on Travis's boat, where we've got 3 units on the front, right? If you put that on a scale, I mean, I don't know how many pounds it is, but it's 30, 40 pounds. I don't know. I may be off.
That's a lot of weight.
It's a lot of weight no matter what. So what I started doing last year on my personal boat is we would take marine grade starboard, 3/4 inch marine grade starboard, and we would cut a template out and basically use it as a backer plate on the bow. And,
that's so smart.
Those sheet metal screws, they grab into that plastic and they just don't back out. So
that's so cool.
I never had a single screw the whole season back out. That was the first.
That's amazing. Yeah. I mean, right from the start, that strikes me as different because literally I've owned bass boats since I've been 15 and nothing ever stayed put. Nothing.
Right.
Maddening.
You still want to go over your stuff. You want to make sure, just general looking things over. But I feel so much. That's the worst. I've had so many years of just bad experience with batteries, battery chargers, just everything that go wrong. And I'm sick of it, but everyone
fuzzy pictures. My first 360, it was like, it was just done so shitty.
I want an honest review at the end of the season after you beat that thing all season long, right? Sure. I want an honest review and let's see where it ends up because we always want to grow and negative feedback, positive feedback. We take all that.
Yeah, spot on.
Involved with it and do what we got to do. But I think at the end of the season you'll be impressed with the way things hold up on that.
Oh, sure. Nice, man. What's your lead time right now, like for taking new customers on? I'm curious. How that's
springtime. We were out like 2 to 3 months, but right now we're a month out.
Okay.
But we're able to fit in small jobs right now. We're hiring a lot of people. lot of family. My wife works with me. My wife's mom works with us.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
We just hired on another new kid that's doing installs, Andrew.
Yep.
And then my main installer, Brian. So we've grown a lot, and we're trying to adapt. I know these guys are itching to get out there, and they don't want to wait 2-3 months, and I don't blame them. So
sure,
we're trying to grow, but grow reasonably and not too fast. So
sure, that's always the challenge, right?
I was definitely impressed with the shop. It's top notch, and I don't know how many boats can you fit in that thing.
We could squeeze 6 in comfortably, maybe 7 inside.
Yeah,
it's a big shop for dedicated rigging, man.
Yeah, especially in New Hampshire, right? you don't picture that in New Hampshire for sure.
Well, that's the thing. There was nobody. You guys know my last boat I had to drive all the way down to Georgia. And listen, there's nothing against the dealers. You know, both Steve and I bought our boats through Thayer's Marine, and Richie's hooked us up, and it's a great dealership. But some of today's equipment and all the rigging, I mean, it's very precise what needs to go on. I think you need an expert, someone that deals strictly with rigging these types of boats if you want it done right.
Yeah, Thayer's Marine is a great dealership. You know what I mean? They can handle a lot of that stuff, but if you don't fish with it every day, and I mean, even me, I mean, I run this whole business, right? I do everything I help out with shipping and phone calls and all that. This is literally my life, right? All I do is talk about fish finders and power poles, and I still learn something new every day. It's just gotten so complicated. And compatibility with old stuff versus new stuff and software updates. It's never ending.
What'd you do before, Steve? Like before you got into this business and fell in, what was your livelihood?
So I worked on radiation machines for 12 years.
Oh, wow. So you had a tech background a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, that was a lot more complicated than a bass boat, right?
That's not the same, man.
It was definitely a lot more intense working with doctors and physicists and all that stuff. So
sure.
A high-paced environment with very complicated machines. So
yeah. Wow. Did you go to school for like what's your educational background? I'm curious, like your tech on radiation machines, which is pretty high tech.
Yeah, I mean, I went to school for a few years. I got an associate's degree in electrical engineering.
Okay, there you go. You're an engineer, man. Makes sense.
I learned a lot just working on those machines. They're full of circuit boards and water lines, and a lot more than what's going on in a bass boat. So
sure,
this is refreshing now, and it's something I like to do.
There you go, guys. Now you know a guy who can work on a radiation machine is going to be rigging your bass boat, so you're in great hands.
That's right.
If your life depends on that catching that limit, that's the guy to go to.
I can't wait, Eric. You've been in my boat.
I love your boat, man. Look, man, last year's Camus, when I first took a ride, just the ride of the boat, but looking at the rigging, in your garage and how tight and the cleanliness of the rigging, right? Because we've all had rigging where wires are not in the right place. It's folded under the troll. It never ends. It's clean, it's crisp, it's done right. And look, when we came back from that last day on the water, it was sporty out there, bro. You took some liberties with me in that boat, man. You folded me sideways a couple of times, man.
Camus has been the best rough riding bass boat I've ever been in. Steve, this is your first year running at Camus. Have you ran some big waves yet or no?
No, I haven't. I haven't got out as much this year as I normally would, but it's been decent weather so far. So
yeah,
sure.
You'll love the ride, man. Stays up high, stays on plane. It's tight.
I'm happy with it overall to start. I like the layout, and the bilge is awesome how they got that laid out. So
yeah, man. Earl makes a good boat.
They do. Well, listen, I know, Steve, we want to talk a little bit about your business, but we also want to talk fishing with you. What was it? A couple of years ago, you won a pretty big an open on Lake Champlain, and I know that's kind of your home body of water, and you love chasing smallmouth out there. So, talk to me a little bit about your win. Give us a little history on that, and a little history of yourself when it comes to fishing on Lake Champlain.
Yeah, so I mean that's Champlain's pretty much where I spend all my time. It's not around the corner. It's a 3.5 hour drive.
Oh, wow.
That's 12 years ago. I took my first trip up there, and I kind of been ruined since because there's nothing around here that touches it other than the St. Lawrence. But that's about 7 hours away. So I've just chose to spend a lot of time up there. And when Garmin LiveScope came out, that was before I had the business. I bought it and I took that up to Champlain, and I just shut my mouth. I didn't say a word because I knew that LiveScope was going to change everything out there.
Wow.
It was just I never went out and didn't catch them, which was not the case before. It just allowed you to see how those fish set up, where they go, how far they're suspended, and then honestly, I got to give a lot of credit to my dad. I told him I left my boat up there before the Toyota series. It was 2 or 3 years ago, and I said, just go do something stupid, and he went out and just found some bait, and I wish I had the screenshots. It was the prettiest screenshots you ever seen.
Really? What was it? Just describe.
It was bait, like big balls of bait cloud.
Yeah.
And you could just see the arches in the middle of the bait clouds. To this day, I've never seen a screen look like that.
So we saw on our Hartwell Championship, me and Scooter, we qualified for the team championship, Bass Nation. And we were in this pocket that had tons of bait. And we watched a very large bass carve through the ball of bait. You could see the image of the fish, like the body and then the tail come. Might have been a striper too. It was a big fish. Yeah. But I'd never seen anything like that since. But it was just like spectacular to watch.
See, my dad lives down the James River in Virginia, so he doesn't do a lot of offshore fishing. So here I am, I'm just missing what he's saying. I'm like, he's out seeing some trout going through some bait or something, And he texted me the pictures, and I said, there might be something to that. And I went out.
Holy crap.
Yeah. I went out to the school, and the first drop, I caught a 4.5.
No.
And I said, wow, there might be something to this. And then in practice, every single spot I stopped, I caught one over 4. Like,
that's so crazy.
To the point where I actually told, I forget who it was. I told somebody before that Toyota series, I'm not a cocky person at all. And I said, I'm going to win this tournament. I never in a million years thought that I'd be set up to win a tournament that big. I think there was like 205 boats in that or something.
That's so crazy.
And sure enough, just every day, it didn't matter if it was cloudy, windy, flat, calm. It didn't matter. They bit. And I caught over 19.5 every day.
How many of the 205 boats do you think had LiveScope at that point?
It was definitely a smaller number, but this wasn't that. I mean, it was 2 or 3 years ago. So
yeah, okay. So
quite a few people had it. It wasn't back when it first came out. I mean, it took me a while to figure out, how to use LiveScope and really dial it in.
Okay. Gotcha. Oh, I thought you were talking about like 7 years ago you won the Open. I
no.
didn't know the timeline of it. So
yeah, this was
I wouldn't have asked the question if it was 2 or 3 years ago. So that's very interesting. You won an Open 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, you know the lake very well. That's amazing that you won an Open. That's hard to do.
It was wild too. I mean, I was catching, I don't know, 50 to 70 a day. I mean,
wow.
And I haven't done that since. I mean, I won a BFL out there last year, and I finished
to do as well.
I finished 7th in the Toyota series last year, so I mean, it was still good.
Damn good finish.
But I wasn't catching.
When's the next big tournament on Champlain? That's coming up, right?
Yeah, there's a Toyota.
What tournament on Champlain? I should say.
What's that?
When's your next event on Champlain?
This weekend's opening weekend, but I'm just fishing a small event. It won't be big, but the Toyota series in a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, the 22nd.
And you're in it.
I'm not. Well, I dragged ass. I'm actually not confirmed, so I might be. Somebody in the comment was mentioning about Co, so I'm looking for somebody to link with.
You'll find somebody. What's going to happen? That in a couple weeks, are they still going to be? Is there still going to be some fish on beds? Do you think, or is it going to be more transition?
It's going to be interesting. I mean, back over the winter time, I was thinking I'm going to be screwed because it's going to be all post spawn kind of in between. You catch 16, 17 pounds on beds, but that's not going to do anything at Champlain. So My guess is a guy like Brian LaBelle, local guy, largemouth guy. He's probably going to win that event with largemouth up north. I don't think it'll be one down in Ty, but
Interesting.
that's my guess. But I don't know. We got this cold snap right now, which is kind of interesting, and that could hold them back. I mean, at this point,
where do you prefer? What would be your ideal situation for this tournament?
delay it another month. Push them offshore. I mean, it's not ideal for me because I'm going to have to bed fish. That's the only way I'm going to stand a chance. And I hate doing that. It's just you have to find. You got to look at 500 beds.
Wow,
3 days worth of fish. It's hard.
That's crazy.
I love it. That's my favorite.
That's your jam, Travis.
Absolutely hate it.
I like putting in the time to do that, but I know exactly what you mean. It can be it's some long days out there. I mean, that sun don't set till 10 o'clock at night up on Champlain this time of the year.
It's 15-hour days this time of year.
You're up there. You're on the water early.
I got the old $4 Walmart pillow laying on the gunnel so I can flog those things all day.
Hey, real quick, Steve, back to business. A couple questions, man. Somebody asked, and Travis already said, yes, you could. But what percentage of rigging are like traditional bass boats? And then what are you rigging in the kayak world?
We're not doing anything as far as the kayak goes. I've rigged one kayak, to be honest.
So would you take new kayak jobs or no?
We're partnered up with Bailey over at Serious Angler, and so he's big into kayak fishing. We've had this discussion, and I think eventually there could be something there. But the thing is, I think a lot of those guys are doing their own rigging, 1 or 2 units.
Sure.
And it's just everything's so tight in that kayak, right? There's no need to really go crazy with wiring and all that.
Fair.
We'd certainly do it, but I just don't think people really need it from what I've seen so far. But we're open.
Okay. Fair, man.
Somebody else in the comments. I want to talk more smallmouth fishing here, just for my own knowledge. But let me go back here in these comments. There was MJ goes.
That was funny. What about you? The truck lifted so high you could drive right over the Great Reset.
No, so Steve, I'm trying to find the comment here. There was something about your opinion on the Humminbird, I guess the forward-facing sonars, and how would you rank them, if that's even fair to ask?
Yeah, Paul Scozzari asked, Steve, have you had any experience with Humminbird Live? Do you think they'll ever catch up to the others?
There you
go. Is that the one, Travis?
Yep.
Garmin and Lowrance are definitely on a pretty level playing field. The Active Target 2 and the Live Scope Plus, I mean, you really can't go wrong. But there's no doubt that the Mega Live is behind. I think everybody knows that's used it. But with that being said, you can still go out and catch fish with Mega Live. There's nothing that says you can't. You're just not getting that range that we're seeing now with Live Scope Plus and Active Target 2, where you're seeing 100, 120 feet out in front of the boat. It's all about how you know how to use it too. A lot of people say, oh, you can really see your bait 100 feet out. And, yeah, I do. I can get glimpses of it, but you're not seeing a crystal clear bait at 100 feet out, right? But it doesn't matter because once you understand how to use it, as long as you've got an idea where that bait is in relation to the fish, that's what matters. And that's where that Mega Live lacks. You can't, not that what I've seen anyways, you can't get past 60 feet. And that's fine down south. I think when those, you watch some, I don't know if you've seen some of that live footage, right? And they show the actual Mega Live footage, like Jeff Gustafson and Polinick and all. It's cool to see that. And those guys can catch them with it. I mean, the guy just won the Classic with it, right? So I'm not saying that it's useless. If you're all Humminbird, then why not go for it? But if you had to choose, nobody's going to come to us with a Lowrance or Garmin setup and put a Mega Live on the boat. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
But they'll get there. They always do. Humminbird has always been innovative, and for a long time, they had the best side imaging and mapping, and they still do have one of the best. So it'll get there. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm still learning with my live scope, with my Garmin live scopes. I tried the Active Target. I didn't have the newest transducer last year, but I went with all Garmin this year. and it's a learning curve. You know, I'm not an expert. I don't think I could do strictly like YouTube videos on how to set up your Garmin unit because I'm not there yet. You know, I know how to use it in specific situations that, especially where I fish now, up here on the Great Lakes, crystal clear water, smallmouth. I'm not trying to figure out what that you know, fish I'm seeing on the graph is. I know it's a bass. I know how to get that dialed in and how to throw whatever type of finesse bait or whatever I'm throwing at these fish. I think there's a learning curve between guys like me that are up here up north or guys that are down in Texas or Florida or fishing grass lakes. I mean, every situation's different. Would you agree, Steve? Like there's a lot that goes into these electronics.
And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm an expert in all aspects of it because I don't fish down south, and that's a different world when you got brush piles and then you got guys in Florida. I mean, look at Scott Martin, right? He was looking at a bed in perspective mode in 3 feet of water.
Yeah.
You know, I don't get to experience that kind of stuff up here. So it's all in different areas and how you use it and how you can make it work best for you, I think.
Yeah. No, that's
True.
I mean, I feel good being able to do the damage I can do this year. The biggest difference between last year's boat and this year's boat, as far as the rigging and what I have, is I went with a pole mount. I went with God dang these people.
Dude, that
Dirty
pole mount's
Steve.
pretty cool, man. That you can
That
like.
was Dirty Steve's brother.
Oh,
You
that's
guys remember
funny.
Dirty Steve.
Yeah, of course. The pole mount's awesome, Travis. I don't know what I'm looking at,
dude.
but to be able to, the boat's handling itself in spot lock, and then you're just scanning with that other little pedal. That's crazy.
Travis showed up here with like a box full of crap and just slapped it down on his boat. And I saw that whole setup he had last year. I didn't look at it too much, but I'm thinking, what in the hell is this guy going to expect from us? You know, he had like 10 different things going on in the front of the boat last year. And I'm thinking this is going to be a nightmare to try to please him and make him happy with these setups. But I think we kind of just talked it out and I just basically told him this is how I would do it, and let's set it up this way. If you don't like it, we'll change it. And I think so far you're happy with it, right?
Oh man, I'll tell you what, I will never have another boat without a separate pole for my live scope, but also having one on the trolling motor.
Sure,
you have to have two. You have to have two.
I think you're going to see more and more people go away from 360, and it's going to move to a perspective mode, forward mode deal.
Yep.
I don't know, man. I don't know if you have to have two.
If I can have just one,
it's nice. It's like, do you need what is
You
going
don't have
on with your phone? Don't people know
Dude,
you
I
stream
don't
on
know.
Monday nights, bro? Like,
I don't
what
know
the
why
heck?
I don't get it. No, it's all people watching. They all want to have a separate conversation on here.
Don't break the rules, everybody. That's a party foul. Don't text the host while he's talking.
That's right. So I use the pole called, and it's a weird name, Cornfield Crappie is the company, right?
They're cornfield fishing now to try to make it less. I don't know what the cornfield thing is, but
that's perfect for you from Wisconsin, bro.
I guess. Love this cornfield.
Cornfield. I mean, that makes no sense to me. They come over,
but I love it. I love it. I think it's like I said, I won't fish without one. Eric, when we fished together, we were in shallower water, 10 feet or less.
Yeah.
And you saw me use that even when we weren't anchor locked, even when the poles weren't down. I was.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
Oh, there's no question. Yeah.
And
I mean, I had no clue what I was looking at.
I don't want. I just said 10 minutes ago that I'm not that dialed in, but you saw how dialed in I was. A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I caught 31.96 and didn't look at one of them. So I don't know. I mean, I'm doing fine behind you. I didn't look at one of those fish. 31.96. I mean, I'm just saying. Look, you never told me where to cast for one of those fish. That's a straight up no way. Right. No way. No way. The whole joke of the trip was I'm trying to go, where is he casting? Because I want to know if there's more than one. He goes, Bud, I'll let you know. And I'm like, the boat's headed this way, and he would cast way over there. I'm like, why are you casting way over there? I'll let you know, bud. I'll let you know. He would never go totally 3 fish off the right at 60 feet. Nah, there was none of that. I'll let you know, bud. I'll let you know.
Because you kept asking me every minute. You would be like, "What?
No. I'm just curious. I want to learn. But you know,
you kept making up a saying. You're like, "What was that?"
If you see something, say something.
If you see something,
The workplace
all
environment.
day long, he would say that.
You got the reference, Steve. No, man, it's funny. It's the running joke because I literally still don't know what I'm looking at. I mean, look, if there's a fish off the bottom, it's obvious. But if they're glued to the bottom, it's fucking alien things popping up. And you got those ghost images. I don't know if that's where a fish was and it's leaving a trail because you got the trails on. I have no fucking clue. It's like looking at gobbledygook. I can't take it. I'd rather just cast and catch them and try to catch them.
You got to be up there. You see me. My head's all. I'm always scanning with it, and
I know that's how you fish. I don't want to fish that way. I mean, I'm still curious. I really am.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it's interesting.
Let me do my job at the bow, bud.
100%, man.
The most annoying thing is when you got a guy dialed into live scope, forward facing sonar, and your partner's sitting back there. What do you see? Where are you casting? What are you doing? I'm just saying.
That's annoying.
Like that.
You wouldn't say anything if I wasn't talking the whole day.
No,
you are a very quiet fisherman.
I am.
You're not into the conversation, which is fine. Unless we're shooting the video, then you could talk a little bit. But if we're not videoing, you don't say nothing. You're quiet.
Fish, man.
You're into it. I get it, man. That's your scene, man. You're into that thing. That's why you got those things up there and that little stripper pole accessory. The cornfield crappie pole is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
I almost feel guilty in a tournament now. On Champlain, I'll draw out in the summertime with the co-angler, and because of the last couple of years, they'll get excited, and I just kind of have to burst their bubble at the beginning of the day and say, "Look, this is going to be probably the most miserable day you've ever had because I'm going to be out here chasing them in the middle of nowhere, and I don't have a clue where they're at." But
100%, your back units are on standby. They ain't seeing dick. Exactly.
I leave the unit on. They get.
Well, that's nice of you because a lot of people put that shit on standby and leave you blind, man.
My co-angler ain't seeing nothing at the bow.
We know your die co-angler die philosophy, bro. You don't have to try to pretend.
So Sean goes quiet because I fished with Sean before. Travis talks to himself the whole time. I do talk to myself out there, but
Mike Power said that about you too.
What did he say?
He says you talk to yourself.
Yeah.
That's Sean and Mike. I don't hear you talking to yourself.
He's definitely very interested in what his co-anglers say. The first time I ever met him, I don't even think he remembers it, but I had him going. We were at the Texas Roadhouse up in Plattsburgh, and he didn't know me from a hole in the wall. I didn't know him. And we were up there with Joe Thompson. And
shit.
And he drew out, who I drew out with your co-angler from day one. Okay. And I had you going because I said, man, I drew out with this big guy. I forget his name. And I said, he was just going on and on about his day one co-angler. He said, what a prick that guy was. He sucked at fishing. He had no clue what he was doing. He was running us up in the middle of these flats and stuff. And Travis just started turning bright red. And he got so pissed off. I mean, he was ready to jump up and kill this guy. And then finally, I let on and told him the whole situation. But that was the first time I met him. So
that's funny.
Pretty good.
That's a good one.
Oh, yes.
I love it.
These comments are a little good chat tonight, guys.
No question. Travis is like A-Mart. He talks to himself. And Sean said, I think he would say something to me that he's just like, no, I'm just talking to the fish, bro.
I do talk to the fish a little bit.
Everyone's
different out there. You know what I mean?
Of course.
You got to link the back unit so it's showing the front 2D. So when you got one underneath the trolling motor, they think they're dropping on it.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's trick. That's just sorcery right there.
So when I'm out if I'm in a tournament setting, I will have one of my graphs set to the 2D behind the big motor, at the back of the boat, just for those situations. I've done that before.
All right, I got a question for both of you, since you're both scopers and you both know that you're going to provide an incredibly miserable day to your co-angler. Let's say a co who can fish draws either of you in the tournament. Let's just pretend the roles reverse. Now you're teleported to the back. It's still you up front. You're fishing behind you. Steve, first, what would you do? Lake Champlain, take me to a Great Lake, take me to the St. Lawrence. You got a scoper. As a co, and your life depends on it, like live or die situation, what are you going to do? And take me through a variety of scenarios. A guy's fishing shallow, another guy's fishing deep. You're in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing visible to cast to. What do you do?
I think fishing deep, you got to tie on something heavy that's going to get down into the middle of the water column and just start fan casting, right? Because if we're scoping them, there's fish around. You
got to figure, right? And so what's that lure choice, and what are you throwing? If you have to pick a couple of things.
A swim bait, I think. Like a little paddle tail swim bait.
Yep. How heavy of a head?
As heavy as I could get it, probably, so I could keep it down there, halfway or whatever.
Half ounce?
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah.
And I never see any of them do that. They all want to throw a drop shot like I'm throwing, and that's just not effective because you're not covering any water.
Sure. Would you drag a Carolina rig around?
I've had guys do it, but they can't really do that with me because I move too fast. So
I gotcha. So they'll never get a good drag or a drift out of it.
Right.
I gotcha. On Champlain. So that's Champlain Lake. You're not doing controlled drifts per se.
Right.
Okay. Gotcha. So a swim bait. Little Kitech, what, like 3.3 or even smaller?
Yeah, no, something just like that on a half-ounce head. I think that'd be the most effective way to catch them.
And you think they could probably get 5 bites doing it?
I think so. I mean, I've had plenty. Don't get me wrong. The first year when I won the Toyota Series, I mean, the guys smashed them. Everybody drew out with me won or finished in the top 3. I mean, they were all weighing 19 to 20 pounds. I don't know what was different, but
that's crazy.
They bring in a 4.5, and there'd be a whole school, and every single time they'd catch one out of that school.
That's incredible. So you'd pull a school and they would just drop as your fish was getting landed.
Yeah, the year that I won the Toyota Series, the BFL was the following week, and the kid won the BFL on the back of my boat. He had more weight than the guy that won on the boater side.
That's so crazy.
So it just depends on how they're set up and how they're acting.
Sure, makes sense. Interesting. Travis, what would you suggest to you fishing behind you on the St. Lawrence? Not Ontario. Yeah, current. And then take me to the Great Lake.
Man.
Yeah. You got to catch fish behind you.
When you're live scoping,
is it?
Like Steve said, your boat's constantly changing direction, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And we have no mercy, right? We don't even know where we're at. We're just
running over the lines.
Dude, I fish with you. I understand.
I'm a big, I know Steve mentioned, I don't think a drop shot covers enough water, but to be honest with you, I would throw a drop shot, but I wouldn't be soaking it. I would be slinging it out there in one direction, let it fall 8 to 10 seconds, reel up another direction, 8, because a lot of those times those fish, if they're out there and 20, 30 feet away in that clear water,
they see it
fall, they might go over to it. That's one approach. I don't like the sea rig approach just because I'm turning so much.
Right. If you're drifting,
a swim bait, but I'm not always live scoping either. Don't get me wrong. I get up shallow a lot.
Yeah. Oh no, believe me.
I know.
I've fished shallow with you. Oh, you're very good at it. That's a very fun way to fish. I agree.
But it's if you're going to commit to those types of presentations, even a Ned rig, bomb it out, let it fall.
Yeah.
A shake off the bottom and reel up. The problem, the co-angler needs to make dozens of casts, hundreds of casts compared to your pitches. throughout the day
Sure.
to connect
Sure.
with fish. That's
Sure.
what it's about.
I think
Yep.
their mind's just so screwed up with this new change in the way that we're fishing, and everybody's complaining about it, but I don't think they should be complaining. I think you should just be adapting. You're around fish. You can still catch them. You can. It's just different.
Sure. Absolutely. And I've had
Somebody said, what if a non-boater brought a handheld live scope?
So this has already been discussed, and it's again, you can't do it in
You can't
fishing because
Okay.
Why is that?
you can't have a GPS device with you, and there's no fish finder that's live scope capable that doesn't have GPS.
Oh,
That was what
interesting.
the tournament director said from Major League Fishing.
Very
I wouldn't
interesting.
mind. I would have no problem if they had it, but my only concern would be, can they pack that shit up quick enough when I want to run?
They're going to be slapping that thing on the side of the boat and tripping over it.
Can you imagine? It's dragging behind the boat. The whole transducer is popping up like a porpoise.
I got a hard enough time getting these guys in their life jacket before I can hit the key switch.
You tell them, don't take it off. What if they came out with, do you think we'll ever be at a point where people will have glasses that connect to sonar and you just see it on a display?
Absolutely.
Would you use it?
Yeah. Yeah.
You would?
We're going to have goggles on that are going to show you where all the fish are located out in front of you.
Doesn't that take the magic away a little bit of fishing?
It depends what you want to accomplish. I mean,
that's true.
I like to set the hook. I told you this 100 times. I'm not a Randy Blackett, whatever his name is, fan, right? I don't understand what he's doing. I don't get what he's trying to accomplish with.
But one minute, time out. I'm just going to skip Randy. I'm not trying to bring him in the conversation. But I think we all remember that moment when we got hooked on bass fishing.
Sure.
And I don't know if you were in a boat. I wasn't. I was at the front lake where I grew up. I was with Bert Sharon. I was I think I was probably throwing a white shyster, little spinner, inline, just casting parallel on the bank. There's a little drop. And, saw that bass just flash and hooked up, man. Who is calling you now, bro? Anyway, there was something magical about not knowing. Not to say it's not magical looking at a fish on a piece of, a screen.
There's a co-angler bundle.
Crazy, man. Bring your own electronics.
It's been on the radar. We've thought about it, but I don't want to be that guy that releases it. I just don't want to be. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man. There's a certain magic. Like when I'm fishing with you, Travis, I'm doing a lot of fan casting. I'm not looking, I'm fan casting, and there's something cool about hooking up with a fish when you fan casted, not seeing that fish.
Yes, my point is.
You follow me?
Eric, yes, totally agree. But
I still like that.
If I go to an underwater point and fan cast for 2 hours and catch 3 fish, or I can scan it real quick and see that there's 3 fish over here.
I get it.
Within 15 minutes,
dude, believe me.
I'm going to choose that over sitting there for 2 hours.
I get it. I totally get that. I get it.
I want to set the hook. I want to catch big fish.
Yes.
Set the hook and move on with my life.
I totally get it. I really do.
And I'm not apologetic about it at all.
No, it doesn't sound like you're apologizing.
I do wonder about the younger kids though, like the college age kids right now. This is all they know, right?
That's all they need to know.
I don't know.
That's all they need to know. You still have to have instincts. All these anti-live scopers are like, oh, they lose their instincts. No, you still got to know what the heck's going on, how to move a bait, how to present a bait properly, where these fish are located, where to even start looking for them on live scope. And even when we can see them, sometimes we can't catch them. So I don't understand that division, that debate between your natural instincts and sonar. You have to have it together. I know plenty of people at live scope that still can't catch fish.
Don't you think you learn a little more though from the beginning without live scope when you had to really grind it and fish that bait in different ways and try different
I wish
baits?
I could say that, but I've learned so much with the live scope on smallmouth behavior, how they are so many fish are not on the bottom.
Right.
That's one thing. So many fish are not where we think they are. when we cast to them and they bite.
I never thought all the fish were on the bottom. What do you mean?
Well, I'm
you're talking about smallmouth?
I'm talking smallmouth specifically.
Okay, gotcha. It's a whole other world for me. But
10 years ago, when I make a cast on a ledge and that drop shot falls and I shake it a little bit and I feel that bite, I think that fish was sitting there on the bottom and that drop shot was around him and he came up to it and grabbed it.
You never heard of a suspended fish?
I
10 years ago? What were you reading?
I never connected it like that. It was always in my head that fish, so many more fish that I realized are not sitting on the freaking bottom, Eric. That's what I'm saying.
I get it. So you had heard of suspended fish before, but you're just in your brain, you're thinking smallies are bottom oriented, even though they move around like crazy. They never swim through the middle of the water column. It's always like belly near the rock.
I learn a lot. I feel like I learned more about fishing with forward facing than I have from
your whole life. I say that
it's interesting.
You take everything I've learned my whole life. I learned more since Live Scope came out than I have my whole life. I totally agree with that.
It's incredible. I mean, there's a lot of things I wish I could do better, right? We talked, Steve and I had a conversation about like perspective or scout mode, Lawrence or Garmin. I'd like to get that dialed in. Sounds like you have it pretty much dialed in, Steve, on your end when it comes to scout mode. That's something I want to experiment a little bit more. I'd love to not have to run a 360 in the future and just rely on that. But I'm not there yet.
We're going to see a live 360, right? That's the next.
Oh, that's got to be coming.
The next deal. It has to be.
Yeah. I'm sure that's what Hummingbird's working on to leapfrog, the competition, right?
One of the brands doesn't have to be Humminbird. We're going to see something that's going to give us. You've already got Lowrance just released you can combine the 2 active target 2s into a scout wide mode, but the practicality there for the average guy, it's just not there, right? Because you got to have 2 modules, 2 transducers. You're talking over $3,000 just to get that one view, and then you still don't have forward mode. So you really need a third one. It's, where does it, then you're running into battery power and it gets a little out of control, right?
Man, just go fishing, Travis. Just go fishing, dude. Just go fishing.
All right.
Nah, man, I hear you guys. There's both sides of the coin, right? Yeah, we're talking tournament fishing versus, and we're talking just a personal preference, right? I still
do what you love to do.
That's what I do, dude. I love going down to my dock with 2 rods and cast it. I can see I can feel that I'm in grass and, just snapping it, cracking a tube. I was going, I start out gentle because I'm hung in the grass and going like this. And the rod is a medium light going. It's a spy bait rod, 6-pound monofilament. I was telling you, Steve, you probably heard this. And, it was like, I know it's moving the weed. It's like this water cabbage. And I would let it fall back down, then I'd hang up again, do it again, I'd let it go again, and then I really started to do it, and the fish would pull back at some point, just bite it right off the stalk. That's fun. I'm not seeing any of it, but I'm just imagining it. I love that for me. But anyway, I'm just saying.
Right.
And I still love getting a topwater bite, just dirt, fishing in the dirt, moving, covering water with scooter. We didn't look at any of those fish for our biggest win of my career. Never saw one of them.
It is pretty cool though, seeing a smallie skyrocket a walking bait on Live Scope. That's
I'm sure it would have been absolutely. I mean, our fish were sitting in 6 inches of water, so it would have been hard to do that. These are big herring eaters, largemouth, so I guess maybe, I don't know. Is the Live Scope so much more important for smallmouth fishing?
I think so, but look at every tournament this year, right? I mean, even that one in Florida, where was that at? The first one of the year where he won it in the channel there?
Kind of weird, though, because he was really looking for crappie to eat. So I would agree with you if it was like, man, in practice, I used my Live Scope because I went up the river and I thought I could find a group of post-spawn fish that were healing up, road less traveled. Nah, he's out trying to catch crappie for dinner and you know what I mean? So it's kind of like dumb luck. So I can't let that one stand, even though, yes, the tool got him to the win. He didn't use the tool in a way in practice that produced the win. He just got lucky to find those fish.
It's playing huge in Texas too, right? That kid Alec Morrison just won down in Texas
for sure.
by 24 pounds or whatever it was.
Yeah, you can't deny its power. I mean, look, I'm not debating it at all. I just it's it's two different schools of thought. It's like the classically trained artist that learned how to draw and learned all the mediums versus the Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator. You get a really good artist that had learned old fashioned, if you will.
Travis is tuning it all out right now. He's not
he doesn't understand because he's not an artist. So I grew up with a father who, was an artist, classically trained, and then the technology age, and for him it just didn't connect, right? Luckily, it was his retirement age. But I've seen people who were classically trained and then took the technology, and it's a more potent combo. To your point that you were trying to make, and maybe you've learned more about smallmouth, but I wonder, is it the complete picture for largemouth too? But maybe it is. I don't know. I'm not a tournament fisherman. I don't go out individually and try to fish and win tournaments. I like team tournaments, Steve, just so you know who I am.
Everybody on this chat right now in the last year. So what are you saying?
That's a team tournament, though, and I'm not the captain. I'm not the boater. You follow me? My role and my job is to let whoever's choosing where the boat goes. Not trying to get in his head. I'm letting Scooter do his thing, but I'm definitely putting fish in the boat, and I'm not looking at him.
Got it.
And I'm using techniques that finesse to power.
This shouldn't even be a debate. If that's the way
it's not a debate. It literally is just a conversation. There's ways to win it. Yeah. And it's preferences. And for me, I still like the old school way. But look, I fish a lot with you, man. I mean, I get what you do. I see what you do. I don't understand it. I don't know what I'm looking at still. I think I did see that one I caught on the Everlasting Drop Shotter, that big largemouth that kind of shocked you because where he was. I literally think I may have seen that fish. I'm not sure. Possibly. Yeah. You saw it was up front.
Allow a straight cast to my fish on the live scope from you, bud. I don't see how.
Right, and I still caught 31.96. I mean, so you're taking me to areas. To Steve's point, you're taking me to areas where fish live. Right. Yeah. There's a lot of fish. Right, and the largemouth fishing was completely different. Non live scope completely, and I basically I freaking crushed them.
So for some reason, the video wasn't uploaded properly. I guess I'll try to do it tomorrow. But we have a video of Eric catching his solo bag, just under 32 pounds, which is very respectable of smallmouth. Just a couple weeks ago.
That was a fun day.
Very impressive, dude. So.
And a mix of baits too, which was crazy. That was the cool part, from bait casting to finesse.
Most of them were all Z-Man products, except for one. You caught on a Samatis Ned rig. Was your fifth fish
was the hollow tip worm.
Yep, and you caught
and with, and I knew I was going to do it because as soon as I saw the hollow tip, I'm going. I bet I could put the smallest glass rattle in there.
You would.
And I did. And it stayed in. I super glued it, and it stayed in all day.
But you caught a few on the Z-Man Mini Chatter and the Z-Man Craw, the big craw, whatever that was.
The Mini Max, yeah. Yep. Ned Craws. Big bait on 17-pound test. I mean, I waylaid on them fish, man.
Yeah.
They didn't seem to care line size. Isn't that crazy? Maybe the bigger bait, there was something to it. Because they did follow that depth 250, dude. That was crazy.
They did.
Steve, we threw a giant Travis threw the biggest glide bait. I'm thinking I'm throwing the Gancraft 178. I'm going to catch him. He's just going to get the followers. He pulled 3 fish almost every cast of very respectable size. Travis, I can't judge them. I mean, I think they were 5s, all of them 4s, but it was crazy. Toughest conditions to throw a glide bait. High sun, not a whisper of wind. So, in very shallow water. But good God, they wanted to look at it.
I just started messing with those, and the bite is, it's definitely crazy. It's addictive, for sure.
Oh, yeah. No doubt. Fun days,
I'll put my time in on those eventually, but the one I used was what? 12 inches.
No, it looks like it looked like a full-size jumbo yellow perch.
It was a 12-inch jumbo perch, bro.
It probably was.
That's what you made me throw out there.
That was awesome.
And
that's the one you picked. I'm thinking, go big or go home, man.
Every cast, that smallmouth would chase it, or not chase it, just swim with it.
Like right behind it, just tracking it.
And I'd reel it in real quick. I'd pick up a fucking Ned rig, toss it over there, donk.
Yeah.
You know? I couldn't get him to bite a glide bait.
That's crazy. Tough conditions. Some days are just like that, man.
No, dude.
Some days are just like that. You can't fire them up. And some days they do bite.
That's fine. I've seen enough guys. Listen, there's a time and place. I don't think the Great Lakes. Steve, you think you could win on Champlain on just a glide bait?
I have no clue. I don't know any. I'm not a swim bait guy. I literally just started throwing them like 3 weeks ago.
Right. I don't know. Maybe.
Seems like everybody's throwing it, right? That was that kid Jacob Wall at Gunnersville throwing it in 20 feet of water. That's pretty eye-opening. Yeah.
All right, what are some tips? Because if you want to give it up, Steve, because we have we don't have too much time left here tonight, but there's a bunch of guys that are going to be fishing the BFL up on Champlain in the next couple of weeks. What are some tips you can give them to compete?
I mean, honestly, the stuff I've learned on Champlain is just time on the water. I've spent
buy live scope.
Buy live scope.
Without live scope, here's the advice, everybody. Without 4 units on the front of the boat, rigged by Steve, you're fucked. You're not going to win. You ain't learning shit. I don't give a fuck what you've read on Bassmaster.com, all the forums, anything your grandfather told you, anywhere you've ever learned anything, it doesn't mean shit. Here's the advice. Let me boil it down to you. That's it. That's the show. Have a good night, everybody. Any other questions? I mean, Travis, really just said, you asked Steve that question. You heard what he said? You said, I've learned more with live scope than I've learned my entire life. Shut the fuck up. Get your guy. Here's what you do. You drive to fucking New Hampshire tonight, have them rig your boat, and then start fishing. Start your bass fishing life over, because everything you learn, throw it out the window. All right. Show's over.
That's pretty much sums it up for me at Champlain. There you go.
There you go, bro. I mean, what else? Don't even tune into this show. I mean, what are you even watching this show for? Right? I mean, what are we even talking about every week? Who cares about the Bass Lab and all the baits and techniques? None of it matters. Get live scope. 4 screens on the front. Get yourself a turret, the stripper cornfield pole. Put shit in the back. Double, triple rig it. Get the right wiring. Lithium batteries everywhere. Put yourself in debt. Get a big boy lift truck, and you'll win. And until then, you're going to suck. Until next time, we'll see you on the water.
You're going to get that co-angler bag on the back, too. Don't forget that.
Yeah, and rig your co-angler up with a freaking portable unit. What tips can you give everybody? Steve, fuck nothing. Come to his shop and get rigged. There's the tip of the night. I mean, at some point, you got to put on cork, right?
Oh, stop, man. Come on.
Yeah, show's over. There's no more live shows because there's nothing else to talk about. It's live scope again this week with Travis from SmallmouthCrush. Doesn't matter what you throw.
The one guy in the comments said, can this be the new intro? There you go.
Until you get live scope, none of it matters. It doesn't. You're fucked. You ain't winning. You're just donating.
Oh, man.
I don't even know.
I'm sorry, everybody. I guess that was good for Steve's business, but maybe not good for the live stream.
Oh, fuck. I don't even know what to say right now.
I really apologize for the outburst. Sometimes that happens to me. I don't know what was in this root beer, but you can blame it on the beaver. The beaver made me do it. Route 42. It's in there.
There you go. Oh, well, man.
Scope or die. There's a T-shirt for that.
Andy Morgan or somebody said that, right? If you ain't scoping, you're hoping.
Oh, no, you ain't scoping, you're hoping. TK Stanley at Tacklecraft made a good T-shirt on it, man. Yeah. It's scope or die.
Scope or die.
He did it. It's a great graphic too. It's got a skull with like 4 screens coming out.
Yeah.
And his other T-shirt is "I'd rather be dead than Ned."
All right.
You know where he stands. He's old school. No power poles. Not even electronic on the front of the boat.
No.
He keeps it simple.
Yes.
Hardcore.
God dang.
All right. Well,
that was good, Eric. I'll definitely save some clips here.
I occasionally have emotional outbursts on the show.
Yeah,
that's one of them.
Once a year, for sure.
I'm at least good for 1 or 2 a year for sure.
Yeah,
been a while. Yeah. Glad I let that out.
Yeah. All right, Steve. Listen, how can people? Obviously, if they want to get their boat rigs, you say you're about a month out right now. But what's the best way to get a hold of you, and where can they find out more information about your business?
Yeah, you can find us online, bassfishingelectronics.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram. The phone number's right here in the background. Give us a call. Website, we got everything that we own, power poles, fish finders, trolling motors, lithium batteries, pretty much anything you can think of.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I didn't even bring this up. There's so many other different products that you're bringing to the market. Like, I call it like, what's that padding on my trolling motor on the foot pedal?
Man, the foot thing.
Cool. Yeah, some of the like the C-deck type stuff.
Oh, that's nice, man.
Yeah, it's just a cool little addition, right? It's got our sonar logo on it, and it doesn't get
that's cool.
The sun, and adds a little cushioning to it. So
I love that thing, dude. I was like, how the heck? I didn't put it in. I'm like, how is this even staying in place and not like peeling or coming off or nothing? It was like part of the freaking magic. Yeah, I was like, all right, that's cool.
Yeah, we're trying to add a lot of our own brand products. We see a need for that when we're rigging boats, and we got our own line of mounts and power pole. We got those lights to go on your power poles and Raptors, and
love that
holders and battery trays, and we're always adding new stuff.
That's good stuff, man.
I want to tell you guys, because a lot of anglers are running lights on their power poles or their Raptors or whatever. And for years, what was it? Russell Marine Products made a light. Steve, I like yours a lot. Like it's cool looking. It's legit. I'm glad you put that on. I even bought one from Russell Marine Products, brought it to his shop, and Steve's like, we got something better for you. I'm like, all right.
Nice.
Throw it out there. Dude, it's like legit. So if anyone's looking at getting one of those for their power poles, definitely look you guys up, and I love it. It's been great. So
yeah, we're trying to have a new standard there. We don't want all this plastic overseas stuff. I mean, everything's made in the U.S. and the Northeast.
Wow, man, that's awesome, dude.
All aluminum, powder coated, anodized.
Hell yeah, man.
That's
not what I'm talking about
on the market, but it'll definitely last. We got some of our over the pedal mounts. I mean, you can put 2 16-inch units on them. So we're trying.
Yep. Yep.
That's awesome to hear, man. It's good stuff.
I'm just trying to keep.
Makes me want to buy a bass boat and get into live scoping. You just catching up on the comments? There's some gems, dude.
Yeah. M. Jones is asking, what's the website? Bassfishingelectronics.com, right?
Yep.
MJ goes, can't recommend enough buying from small retailers that specialize in bass fishing like Steve. Supporting them. Have a number to call when you have an issue is huge. Absolutely.
Heck yeah, man.
Modest, giving some praise here. Steve's a stand-up guy. Service highly recommended. Absolutely. Perfect.
Try to just be different. Call you back, It's a little different.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Return a call. Be responsive.
I can't tell you how many guys will miss their phone call and call them back, and they go, they're shocked. they can't believe that somebody called them back. They go, we've called 3 other electronics places and nobody's called us back, you know.
Isn't that unbelievable? Doesn't that just blow your mind?
I'm not saying we're perfect. I mean, we've grown a lot.
Of course.
We do miss calls. I'm not going to lie, but
sure.
You know, it's wild the expectations that people have since COVID. That's really changed a lot, you know. And we're just trying to stand out and be honest. And if we screw up and things like that, we own to it and just make it right. So
good stuff, man.
Something a little refreshing in this day and age. Hopefully.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jamie commenting. He butters me up with some free HTWs. There we go.
Yeah, man, you know it. A little rattle in the back of that thing, man. A little dab of super glue. The super skinny one with 3 BBs, man.
Those might get a workout this weekend on Champlain.
Mm-hmm.
Sure they will.
Oh, yeah.
Man. All right, I consider this a heck of a show, man. Eric, you went off on a little rant. I'm going to grab some clips here in the next week. And
that's good. Sure.
That was pretty good. That was real good, actually.
I love making you laugh and cry.
Yeah, you did. I couldn't even look at the screen, man.
I know you didn't. No, you covered your eyes. You had the double hand thing going, man. I know. Yeah. I know it's good when that happens, man.
You got me.
I know it's good when that happens. I figured I would.
I do want to make a comment while everyone's on. So next week, Monday, I'm going to be traveling. We're not going to have a live. We'll be back on the 19th, though. So June 19th will be our next live. And then the 26th is the SmallmouthCrush exclusive on that PHYXTV platform. So we're going to skip next week, Eric. Don't message me Monday during the day.
Don't you worry, man. No, I got back-to-backs. Angler's Choice, man.
Where at?
This weekend at Kerr.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Oh, shoot.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I've been slacking here, guys. Also, July 16th. It's the day after the ABA on the St. Lawrence River out of Clayton, New York. We have our Smallmouth Crush Open on July 16th. So I encourage you guys to sign up for that. We're trying to hopefully get more boats than last year. Obviously, that's the goal to grow. But we had a pretty good payout last year. It's a higher entry. It's $500 a team. But we don't keep any money. It's all 100% payback. And it's a great event. So we're hoping to – unfortunately, Eric's not going to join me. Who you got in the background, Eric?
That's my girl, man. My mermaid. She asked me the question.
All right.
I'm still streaming.
He's almost done.
Yeah, I know, man. It's going to be a bummer. He's still going out of French Creek Marina.
That's right. Right there.
That's a cool place. I like that, man. Go win this one, Travis.
We hope to see Steve up there. Come on, man.
What? That'd be cool.
July.
July.
They got one every weekend on Champlain in July. It's crazy.
Yep.
I'm going to be traveling more. Kids are too young right now. 5-year-old and 2-year-old. So.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Focus on that biz, bro. You know what to do. Be a dad, biz. You're doing good. Doing good. Sounds like you're enjoying some good success. Well earned too.
Heck yeah.
Trying to.
I think you're doing it. To make that guy happy is not easy.
Oh, come on.
I'm
What
just
are you
saying.
talking about?
I'm just saying. You're a discerning consumer. You want it right. You want it to look right. You want it to be neat, tidy, rigged right, trouble-free. And you have every right to be because you pay good money to get something done.
That's right. That's right.
That's a fact. I'm not throwing shade at all, man. I would expect the same thing. I talked about all the frustrations I had with bass boats over the years. Makes you want to pull your eyeballs out of your head, man.
Sure.
You know, you're all excited about your 360 and side imaging and there's freaking lines going through because the power's not right. You don't know it because some shitty job at a freaking dealership. You get a series, 28 battery and you're dead on the water. Why didn't they put a 32 in? I mean, it's unbelievable. I've got story after story after story about that stuff, man. Yeah. I've been buying bass boats since I was 15. Yeah. I made my tiny boat in my garage. Yeah.
I think that's one of the most rewarding parts, right? Getting held to that high standard and being able to keep these guys happy. I mean, it's
100%.
It's been eye-opening for me being in the Northeast here. I'm going to be honest with you. I was nervous, quitting my other steady, well-paying job with 5 weeks vacation, right?
Sure.
And, I've been shocked at how well the community up here, and I mean, from Pennsylvania all the way up to Maine, has accepted us being here and allowing us to work on their stuff. It's a pretty humbling and satisfying feeling to be able to do that, for sure.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, for sure. You got it going on. You're going to continue to grow. I mean, I think it's going to be crazy thinking 2, 3, 4 years down the road, especially with the way electronics and, you know, everything's so technical today that I think it's a perfect storm, you know, for what you're trying to do right now.
That's what we're hoping for. Just hope it keeps going and technology keeps advancing, you know, and
So M. Jones wants to know, do you sell live scope pole mounts for a Minn Kota Tarova?
And Tarovas are so limited with the way they stow and deploy. You can put a live scope on it with a cornfield mount, not the live sweep like you have, not the motorized pole. But the guys that have a Tarova, they have to do like an over the side mount where you put it on like a ram mount attached to the deck or the gunnel, or just the way it stows and deploys. There's just no way that I've seen to put a motorized pole mount on one.
Okay.
But there is several companies coming out with different options. Cornfield's got something now where you can just mount it on a ram mount straight to the deck. I know that's not ideal, but if you have a Tarova or an Altera, that's kind of the only way you can do it.
Interesting.
Sure. Man, there's so much. I don't know how you keep up with that. All the different companies, all the different brands, all the different. It's crazy. I wish there was one. Are we ever going to get to a point where there'll be one brand that you can run for everything and be happy? I'm sure.
Live scope 360. Like if Hummingbird came out with, you could see. What if you could see, like, what if Hummingbird, their next 360, had like 120 foot range? You can see the fish swimming around the boat.
Yeah. Maybe.
There you go.
That'd be pretty cool. And it wouldn't look like this feathery stuff on the bottom. I mean, what the fuck is that? I don't know.
Fine. Once you get dialed,
I know you know what you're looking at, bro. I know you know what you're looking at. I'm just saying. But if you could see the 360 view,
listen, I'm gonna tell you
that part.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you a quick story, and then we'll wrap this up. As dialed in as I have my live scope and felt I did, especially in deeper water, 20, 30, 40 feet of water.
Yep.
There was times this fall when I would throw an A-rig out there and let it fall, and fish would magically rise up off the fucking bottom.
Dude,
that I would have missed.
Travis, I saw it at Hartwell. When Scooter and I got that live scope, you literally would drop the live scope in the water, pitch the drop shot down. I'm looking at a shad safe worm that big, and 20 little spots would come off the bottom. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You can't always see them on the bottom. There's no doubt. And I think that somebody like me that relies so heavily on it, you miss a lot of fish, by not fishing. 100%. Make a few casts and you can bring them off the bottom, right? That's how you know.
100%. That's if that's one weakness I have, that's when the fish are super tight and I'm dialed in to what I think in my mind I need to be looking for. I'm bypassing so many fish, I feel.
Yeah, you are. There's no, because remember, I'm the guy fan casting in the back, and I'm catching them. Yeah, you're putting me around them. I'm not saying I didn't find those fish. I don't know anything about the places we've gone together, and I might be throwing something completely different, not finesse. I mean, when you were looking in that shallow area, you didn't tell me to pick up a chatterbait mini max and put the trailer that I put on it and green pumpkin. But I'm like, you know what? They should eat a chatterbait. Crystal clear, high sun, not a whisper, and they were jamming that thing.
That's right.
It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many times you pulled up to a rock and looked at it with live scope or active target and you think, oh, there's nothing there, and then you throw your bait over there and like 5 of them move off the rock.
Travis did that. There was a boulder and like 17 smallmouth appeared out of nowhere, and I'm like, that's weird. or like I'll be looking, Travis goes, there's a fish on that bed. I'm like, I don't see anything. It's crazy to me how they appear and how he can see them and I can't. That's why I don't even care. I'm just going to keep casting. You know what I mean?
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, and feeling the bottom with my rod and my reel, I was like, It was kind of cool. Some of those largemouth I caught, man. It's like, a little riprap, a little ditch, then a grass line. Bait hangs up, snap it, fish comes up and eats it. I didn't see that largemouth there. He didn't see it. We weren't even looking. I mean, you might have been looking. I wasn't.
No.
Just looking. I like that part of the non-live scope game. When you're fishing shallower, reading the water, reading the layout of physical cover, or grass lines that you have to feel and understand what your bait's doing. I like that. I do like that a lot. But it's fun looking at them. I can tell you that. When you have brought me up there and go, that is a fish, that's kind of cool too.
I think somebody like me and you that rely on live scope so much just go until we eventually find them, right? That's
right.
We
Pretty
miss
much.
a lot. But
yeah.
We finally get to that satisfying school when you can see them, and it's lights out.
It's the live scopers that move to find, and then there's the chodes.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up because I got some stuff to do yet tonight, believe it or not. And then
me too, man.
What we're gonna do, Steve, I want you to go crush it on Champlain this summer. Let's get you back here late summer, maybe in the fall, and really dig into some of your techniques and stuff that you're doing out there. And I mean, like you said,
I want that final review on the boat too.
I will.
Yeah.
I will do that.
Bro,
I already know.
That would be a really good, next show, Travis.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless he says his graphs fell off and knocked him out and hit him in the head.
Does anything stand up to the Great Lakes, Steve? Does anything stand up to the Great Lakes?
It's all about boat driving too. You can't be like, I'm very
Hey, talk to my spine. You took some liberties, bro.
All right, guys. Listen, don't.
You're a good boat driver. I'm just joshing, man. But I did take a couple hard hits, man. What are you gonna do? It's the rogue wave, man. It's like
Thanks for the rant tonight, Steve. Thanks for
welcome.
joining us. Thanks for an awesome job on my Camus CX21. I really appreciate the job you've done. And thanks to everybody watching tonight. We had a pretty good crowd. We will be off next week. We'll be back the following. And we'll have a lot to talk about. We got Eric's tournaments coming up. I got the Ike tournament next weekend on the Chesapeake. So
who are you fishing with?
BTC.
Oh, that's awesome. Go win it. Yeah. Go win the boat.
Yeah. We'll see.
I know. It's going to be a tough one. It'll be a grinder.
Yeah.
Who knows? You never know.
It'll be fun. That's right.
Because we know what it ain't. It ain't a live scope tournament.
No, it ain't.
Mm-mm.
Could be.
Oh, well.
I got some plans.
I cannot wait to hear about it.
I'll be back up on.
You could definitely see him under docks.
Yeah. I got a guy trip on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we got the tournament, and then I'll be done for the year. So
that's amazing. Good luck, man.
Thank you.
Awesome meeting you, Steve.
You too.
Congrats on your success, man. It's good to hear about a local business, not local, but just a small biz that's doing it right, man. Mad respect for you. I run a small business too, and it sounds like you're really focused on service and excellent work. So congrats.
Appreciate that.
You got it.
Awesome. As always, until next time, guys, we'll see you on the water. See you guys.